Hi, Mike from the Rural Montana family. It is mid-January. We still got a little snow. It is not too cold though these days. After a few snowstorms and cold temperatures, now we're up again almost around the freezing point, or I think we may be already at the freezing point this morning. So pretty warm. But we need to go to Island Park, to the Cozy Cabin again. And we just did that trip about 4 or 5 weeks ago using our 2013 Tesla Model S rear-wheel drive here. And it was a very interesting trip, and you should go see those videos. It was, yeah, I would say an interesting trip. Winter storm warnings, winter storm advisories, no travel advised, and so on. So today, I don't think we have any winter storm warnings. It is not too bad out. I'm not sure how the road conditions are. We just had some snow a few days ago and then it rained over it, so not sure what to expect. So we'll see. Since it's not too cold, I think we should be able to make it with the Bolt just fine. And here it is. So, well, let's go. All right, it does show 100% with a max of 220 miles and a minimum of 153. An average of 187, and this is based on recent driving, which maybe I was going 70 on the interstate. I was driving a little Uber and Lyft in town, so consumption wasn't too bad. So I suspect we are going to be more on the minimum side of that. I did reset the trip meter there. The distance shows 0. The average always jumps to 3.9. Not sure how they come up with that number. Currently we're still preheating, and you can see it is actually using a little power there from the battery, about 0.5 to 1 kilowatt. It's kind of jumping forward and back. So we'll see. We gotta go to Butte, Montana, which is about 150 miles from here, and it's an uphill battle. There is no chargers between here and Butte. Well, actually there is, about 30 miles from here in Missoula. But we don't want to charge already in Missoula. So we got to make it to Butte, to the Electrify America charger there, and get it fully charged so we can make it down to the Cozy Cabin in Island Park, which is another 150 miles. And there is really no chargers there. So unless we would decide to take a longer route going from Butte to Bozeman and then from Bozeman down. But that said, charging in Bozeman is going to be super slow. I think the only DC fast charging options, I believe, is the Harley dealer. So, and I think that's only 25 kilowatts. So if we can make it down to Island Park, that would be better. And there we would have to plug in and just charge at level 1. So we're gonna keep preheating this a little bit more here. I just turned it on. Currently it is using a lot to heat. That's why we're using some out of the battery. So I want to give it another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll probably drive out of here. By that time the car should be warm enough, everything should be preheated enough, and maybe it even put some power back into the battery so that we actually really have 100%. Because when it shows 100%, that means it could be anywhere from 95 to 100%. It's this gauge always, basically 99% of the time, it shows 5% more than it actually has. Or yeah, so if you watch our other Bolt videos, you can see when we travel and we compare the gauge on the dash to the actual reading through the OBD port, you'll see that it drops down to like 95 when it actually comes down to 95. If it has 95.1, it shows 100. So it's a little bit misleading there. It always shows up to 5% more than it really is. So we'll give it another 10 minutes and we'll get out of here. We got stuff with us. Car is loaded. And it's gonna be my daughter and I on that trip. We gotta go prepare the cozy cabin for guests that are coming. And yeah, we got to do a lot of shoveling snow, I think. Just like last time when we were there. So, all right, let's go. Arrived in Rocker, which is just before Butte, at the Electrify America DC fast charger. And you can see we got 10% showing, which means we got somewhere between 5 and 10%. At 15%, we got the warning to charge and it turned orange. And at 10%, the miles disappeared and it went into propulsion reduced. So the last few miles we were on the propulsion reduced, which I really didn't notice. You can see there we drove 145.5 miles at an average of 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Not very much. Why so little? Well, it is uphill from Missoula to Butte. Butte is, I believe, about 5,000 feet, while Missoula is about 3,000 feet. Also, temperatures are right around freezing. We can see here it is 36 degrees right now, and it's 12:32. So we left 10:17 at home, so it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get here. Climate control was set on auto to about 70 degrees for pretty much the whole drive. So here you can see most of the consumption was for driving, about 93%, and about 7% for climate settings. Usually once you drive, the newer bolts do no longer condition the battery. They just warm up as you're using power. They don't actually use the heater usually at that point. And you can see now we used 59.8 kilowatt hours from the battery pack to drive the 145 miles. So we got about 6 kilowatt hours left in this battery pack at this point. But now we need to see if these Electrify America chargers work. Oh, guess what? The one we pulled up to is dead. There's nothing on the screen. I just couldn't see it because the sun was reflecting on it. This one has something. This one seems to work. And this one seems to work. So again, there is 1 out of 4 is dead, and that's the one I pulled up to. So yeah, this is ridiculous with Electrify America. I guess we'll go over to the left here. All right, let's try that again. So the card reader, the RFID is down there, not up here. I'm not here often enough. Okay, it says authorized. It's hard to see here. The sun is shining directly into it. Initiating charging. Man, this is slow. Come on, Electrify America. It still shows, okay, welcome, blah, 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 but are we charging? I don't see anything. Do I need to hit continue? Okay, man, this is difficult. Holy moly. Okay, it shows we're at 6%. That's what the car says. Current charge speed is 50 kilowatt. According to this, you can really hardly see it. So it says 70 minutes left until 80%. Whoa. Okay, well, at least it's charging. So we'll have to see. 70 minutes till 80, we need 100%, so that will be more like 90. So about an hour and a half. Well, hopefully it keeps charging. So yeah, it's nice and sunny here, but it makes it impossible to read the display on the charger. And it just is, I don't know, if you don't do this frequently, it is difficult compared to the Tesla. Tesla, we just pull up and plug in, and it's all taken care of. And well, we had one time where Tesla chargers failed us in on a trip to Helena. Tesla charger was completely down. But coming here on this one, every time we show up here, at least one of the 4 is not working. And sure enough, I pulled up to this one here and it's not working. So anyway, this is kind of an inconvenient stop anyway, because in here there's a casino and you got your store, your usual, but there's no area to sit or anything. There's no restaurant of any kind. So we gotta actually walk across over to the other side of the interstate where they have a McDonald's and the Subway. And so I guess that's where we're going for lunch today. So you can see here on the screen, it shows 100%. Same thing over here, it shows 100%. But now let's go look at the actual percentage on the charger here. Oh, it just switched, too bad. I don't know if you can see this. 96%. And so in the car, it showed 100% as soon as it switched to 95. So that's what I've been saying here on this trip already, as well as on all these other trips we done with the Bolt. It shows 5% more, or up to 5% more than it actually has. We're at 95, but the display inside shows 100, and you think you're ready to go, but you're actually missing 5%. 5% is about 12 miles of your rated EPA range. And it's going to make a difference, especially in our case. Because we need 100% to make it where we're going. We're at about 5,000 feet elevation. We'll be gaining another about 1,000 feet. But in the meantime, we also have to climb over Homestake Pass. That's almost 7,000, I believe. Something like that. But we got to go up and back down and then back up to Island Park, where we have, 2 more passes in between. So there's a lot of climbing involved on our trip. So I had a little extra time, since this is charging pretty slow here. It's a Bolt. And we were eating too fast. Well, it's called fast food for a reason, so we had healthy McDonald's, by the way. At least we had to walk there and back. So anyway, I got to play with the Better Route Planner, and I was trying to put the trip in from here to Island Park, and it would route me through Bozeman. Bozeman is east from here, but I need to go southeast, quite a bit south actually. So that's why we're only going from Butte over the pass, and then we're starting to head south. We're driving through Ennis, which is about halfway, and then to Island Park. But a Better Route Planner puts me from here to Bozeman, tells me to charge at the Audi dealer there for an hour and a half, just like here, bringing it back up to 100%, and then drive down to Island Park. So that don't make any sense. So I put a waypoint in, and so I put Ennis in. Guess what it done? It lets me drive to Ennis, routes me back up to Bozeman, which is a huge detour at that point. to charge there for an hour and a half at the Audi dealer. So I put the second waypoint in past Ennis because then you can no longer go back, or it certainly will not make sense to go back. And so I put Cameron in, and then it would finally route me down to Island Park, but it said I would get there with -4%, which is obviously not possible. And it didn't see any other chargers. So I thought that was interesting. And I put the current consumption in that the car is showing to trying to map this out. Well, I decided to check the Chevy app because the Chevy app usually is not so great, but amazingly, the Chevy app routed me from here down south through Ennis, just the way I usually would drive, to Island Park. And the Chevy app knew that at Max Inn in Island Park, there's a level 2 charger, which is, I don't know, 5-7 miles or so from where we need to go to. But it routed me to that charger so that I could safely make it to the Cozy Cabin. So that was very interesting to see. So according to a better route planner, what we're going to drive is not possible, even though we've done it before. With the Model 3, with the Model S, and with the Bolt. I know it's possible, even with the high consumption. It's tight, but possible. But a better route planner, I don't know, does this weird thing. And so with the Bolt, I do my own planning, usually on PlugShare. That makes it relatively easy. And PlugShare shows all the chargers, unlike obviously a better route planner that wouldn't take advantage of the level 2 charger at the Max Inn. While Chevy, yes, it routes you to a level 2 charger that's kind of slow, but you can get in a relatively short period of time enough to make it where you need to go to. So that said, it's not so bad to actually possibly stop there and charge up, even though I think we can make it anyway by going slower. So that's it. Again, it's about another 150 miles. The car is rated at 259 EPA range, and we only get 150 out of it. And that is due to higher speeds, due to elevation gain, due to road conditions being wet and snowy, also due to the temperature. Right now it's actually very comfortable here. It's I think it's like 38 degrees or 40 degrees now. It's super nice out here. But still, if you're sitting in the car for several hours, you got the heater on. And heat uses a lot of power. So that's where we lose all that. And that's no different in an internal combustion engine car. You will lose all that too. People just don't notice it because whenever the tank is whatever, at a quarter or half full, or whenever they feel like filling up, they go fill up without thinking about it. While here, since we don't have enough charging stations available yet, we got to think about it a little bit and plan. So, but yeah, we're basically ready to go. Kind of boring with the Bolt due to the long charging times. But my daughter is playing on her phone, so it's not too bad. Kids like that. And I don't know if you can see this here. I don't know, 98%. It's barely visible since the sun is shining directly into the display. So we got about 2% more to go. The Bolt currently is turned on. So the HVAC system, the climate control is working, and which means we precondition the cab while it's plugged in. It's got plenty of power since the Bolt does 50 kilowatts max, but at 80% it only drew 24 kilowatts anyway. So, and there's plenty spare power to run into this car to run the climate control at this point and keep it at temperature so that everything inside the car is already at the right temperature where we want it to be, so that we don't have to raise that temperature while we're driving using the juice from the battery. We'd rather use the juice from the charger, and does have more range. All right, so yeah, we'll give it here a couple more minutes, I guess, and then we should be there. We're still at 98. So once it's coming up to 100, we'll get unplugged and get going. All right, we're at 99%. It's only going like 5, 6, maybe 7 kilowatts. It's going super slow, but we should be ready soon. It shows 188 max, 160 average, and minimum 131. We got about 150 to go, so we should be all right. This now is based on that 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour consumption. So this is more accurate now than what it was when we left home, because when we left home it was based on a different consumption where we got basically better fuel mileage. And so this is pretty accurate at this point. And out there it still shows 99%. And well, this is pretty expensive here to charge at Electrify America. It's showing $17.92 for 150 miles. That is quite a bit of money. So best is charging at home. That is much cheaper, because a full charge at home costs us about $6. And this here is 3 times as much. So this is pretty expensive. And we're just waiting for that 100, and then off we go. All right, we got 100%. It took about 4 minutes to put the last percent in. So let's unplug and get going. %. We put 63.195 kilowatt hours in, or was delivered to the car at 16 cents per minute. Man, that sucks per minute charging. So total session $18.38. Woo! 3 times as much as at home. It's 2:33, 36 degrees out. We got 100%. So off we go. We are at the Cozy Cabin in Island Park, Idaho. No problem. I don't know what a better route planner was thinking. I don't know what the Chevy app was thinking. We got, according to this, it shows 20%. So that means we have somewhere between 15 and 20% in reality. But that is fine. We made it here. We got an average of 27 miles left. And we actually went the speed limit from Butte, actually from Butte over the over Homestake Pass to the exit after Homestake Pass in Cardwell. We did our 75. There was a certain portion of that was 80, but we did 75. And then after that, we did basically the speed limit, which 90% of the time that was 75. And so we made it no problem here. We got a little snow there. Jenna just had to kind of climb through it wearing tennis shoes. That was funny. So anyway, so we made it here. I did fiddle with the air conditioning a little bit. Actually, I turned it off at times because the sun was out, so it got really nice and warm in here. And the sun has so much power, it heats up the car so easily. I was actually able to turn that off at times and just had it set on recirculation without heat so that the windows wouldn't fog up because it was still cold out. And as you can see right now, it's 5:19 and it's 24 degrees here. We've been around the freezing point most of the time. And then as we went over passes, it got a little colder. And as we came towards Island Park here, it got a little colder again. But you can see we used only 6% since last charge. So since Butte, only 6% was for climate settings. Obviously no battery conditioning, and then driving and accessories was 94%. So that is really good. That is because I managed this. Chevy says in their manual, if you set it to auto, is the most efficient way besides completely turning it off, which is not true. I can actually do this more efficient than auto. So, but yeah, we made it, no problem. And so, well, I guess Jenna is ready to unload. So we have to unload our stuff, get in here, and we gotta find a way to get back there and plug the car in with the Chevy provided EVSE, which is level 1. And hopefully we can get enough charge together. I think we're busy here tomorrow shoveling snow around the house and cleaning up. And then maybe Sunday we go over to West Yellowstone and plug in at a level 2 charger to top off hopefully to 100%. Come back here, which will take about 10 to 15%, and then plug it in on level 1 here again so we can return on Monday. All right, she's ready. I better get going. Let's unload. I forgot to point out this here. Energy used 114 kilowatt hours. Distance traveled 299.8 miles. So, yeah, that is the total we used for this trip coming here. So not too bad at all. And the average now on the second half here came up a little bit. We are now at 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Still not really good, but that's how it is. It's an uphill battle and we got to use heat. And also, yeah, the Chevy app said we should charge at max in, which was 293.6 miles. So basically about 6 miles from here. So I don't know. 6 miles, usually you can make 6 miles just by going slower or something. But we made it real easy anyway. So a better route planner and Chevy, both were wrong. I knew we could do it. We done it before in the summertime with this car. We done it with our Model 3. Obviously, this has more range. But we also done it with our 2013 Model S that has an EPA range of 260 miles, but about 10% battery degradation. So it only gets about 234 miles, maybe even. So I didn't see a problem making this. So these apps are maybe a little conservative, but that may be good for some people. All right, now we need to unload and get out there.